Hi, I'm Mike Harlan, and talking with my buddy here, Cliff and Dave Clark, and about this musical, This Is God. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm so proud of this musical that I got to be part of it, and it really the whole idea really starts with Dave wanting us to write a musical together, which I love these guys writing, and just to be part of that was a great privilege for me. But I was leading the choir and orchestra here at our church, and we were doing that anthem, This Is God, which is a tremendous song. I don't know how y'all wrote that song without me, but you two guys had written that song.
Easter Miracle.
Easter Miracle.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally during the worship service, conducting it and the choir singing it, and you had just asked if we would work together on the Easter musical. And as we were presenting this profound song, I thought, that's our musical right there, to take this song and unpack the theology of that great lyric. And so just started doing an outline based on the song that you two had already written. And man, this is what it turned out to be, and I couldn't be any prouder of it.
Pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
And I've worked a lot with Cliff. I've worked with you. Actually, you've watched me work. It's kind of how that goes.
Exactly.
But it was something I was looking forward to. You didn't know that Cliff was the arranger for that slot.
I didn't.
So when you brought that song and said, here's what I'd love to build it around, Cliff and I, we hesitated how long before we...
Yeah, maybe a minute.
A minute?
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat to even film this video in this room.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in here crafting these songs and watching the Lord put all this together. So it's kind of cool to be back here together.
You know what I love about writing with you guys is all three of us feel this deeply. Right. And it's not this perfunctory exercise of we've got to have one more song and we've got to create. It's not that at all. It's three guys that want to follow after Jesus hard and love Him and serve Him with whatever gifts He's given us. And Cliff gets at the piano. That's the most important thing.
To remind us that God has given him more gifts than He's given us.
Exactly. And then we just start pouring out what God is saying and what God's doing. And the tears are in here first. Right. And then they find their way into this. But some incredible moments of worship, just writing these songs together and just seeing what God was doing. And I don't remember a lot of dead time trying to figure out what was next. It just seemed like it flowed out of all three of us.
Yeah, and that's, you both know that's not always the way it works in this town.
It's not.
And to be able to turn in something to Lilliness that was just, it wasn't that I said, this is just amazing. It was, this is pretty significant.
Yeah.
There was something that was happening in the writing that, even going back and listening to it through each stage, and there were things that would get bogged down in the process, and I'd go back and listen to the songs again and just say, you know what, this is supposed to happen.
There may have been a moment, Cliff, I'd love for you to talk about this a minute. We had a song that had been written, and we wrote it. It was easy to write, and yet somehow we
I don't know if we should admit this or not, but
well, I think it's one of the miracles of this musical.
Another Easter miracle,
Easter miracle.
We wrote a few songs in this room in one day, and we all thought the other person was recording. I don't know if you ever had a moment like that with your spouse or something. You each think the other is taking care of something, and sure enough, I start arranging, and I'm emailing these guys, texting them, and we can't find any recording of the song that we wrote. We had a lyric, and in the midst of some other arrangements I was working on, I couldn't think of this melody to save my life, and so we had to kind of start over, rewrite the melody, and but it may be my favorite song on the project.
Yeah,
so.
It's to say we started over doesn't do the story justice. We were in the tracking session.
I didn't know if we were supposed to mention
well,
that or
he had not. Cliff had not broken the news yet of saying there was one part of the song I couldn't remember. I did, and so
turns out it was the whole song.
Well, so we literally in a break in the recording, and we go to a piano in the next room, and Cliff, which is amazing to me that he has that gift, but he's charting and writing this out so the rhythm guys can lay it down in a track, and it kind of was spontaneous combustion, if you will.
I wanted to
on
see
that
your
song.
faces when I told you, so I felt like we needed to all be together. You know?
It was, yes, I aged, my hair was dark when we started that process.
But I would say, here's what I'd say about that song, is I can't imagine it any other way.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever it was the day we wrote it first,
Right.
it was supposed to be what it turned out to be.
That's awesome.
And it-
He could have condemned me, but chose to forgive. The moment His grace broke through, that's when I knew. The moment His grace broke through, that's when I knew. Whiter than snow, yes, whiter than snow. He washed me so.
You know, a special song for me is the first one we wrote, and that was kind of such a tone setter for the whole project. The song "In the Beginning," so you'll hear a pretty dramatic intro featuring the melody of "This Is God," and it flows right into this opening song "In the Beginning." But to lay out so much scripture and so many great theological truths with that opening kind of energy is a little harder to come by than a lot of other ideas. So to see how the Lord laid out that work, and what I love in that song is from the get-go, as a worship pastor myself, I'm thinking about people who are coming to these musicals, people who have invited their neighbors who may not know the Lord, or people who are still young in their faith. To hear a song like that just lays out who Jesus is, who God is from the beginning. What a foundation for them to build on for the rest of the musical. So that was a big moment for me.
Would be His glory, the Father's word proclaimed. In the beginning, the firstborn of creation, Jesus the Redeemer, God and God alone. In the beginning, holding our salvation, image of the Father, seated on His throne. And God was pleased for everything to rest.
For me, the lyric to "This Is God" is just about as close to my heart and my passion as anything that I've ever gotten to be a part of. I think I told you the story, and I think you've heard it.
I've heard it.
But I got saved when I was 8 years old, grew up in the church. I got to know God on that level. When I was in my mid-40s, I enrolled in college as a freshman for the first time in Bible college, and I got to study theology and things that I knew the dots connected. I just really didn't have an academic sense of that. And I get done with college, and I'm sitting in the chair one day trying to process where those two roads meet. And I sat down and I started putting all that on paper. And when I hit the chorus, and it just said, "This is God. This is God." And it was all those things I learned as a child. It was all those things I learned in the theology classes. And it was the God who knew me the best and still loved me the
Yeah,
deepest.
yeah.
The one who knows my heart.